All right, if you just joined us, you're still on to Enterprise Weekend, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's get to our conversation for today. Some former domestic workers of the ex-First Lady Patience Jonathan, who are being held in the Okaka Custodial Center by Elsa State, have decried their maltreatment and delayed trial, saying they are undergoing hardship and torture. It is gathered that the workers had been in the custodial center since 2019, as their trial faced constant delays due to repeated adjournments. The defendants, who were brought before the High Court of Bayelsa sitting in Yenagoa, the state capital, in 2019, were accused of stealing 7 gold bangles and jewelries, 5 Samsung air conditioners, 2 sets of upholstery chairs, and 6 Samsung flat-screen televisions valued at 200 million naira. They were also slammed with 18 counts of bordering on conspiracy to commit murder, conspiracy to commit felony to with, armed robbery, conspiracy to commit felony to with, burglary and stealing, among others. Celebrities and notable Nigerians have raised their voices on the ugly spate of judicial influence by the high and mighty in Nigeria without regards to the rule of law. Now let's have our conversation. I still have with me a barrister, Evans Ofeli. Thank you so very much, barrister, for hanging
My
on.
pleasure.
Yes, so help us, make sense of this. It is your area of forte. For some of us who are not lawyers, we're very emotional about some of these things, and we might pander towards the area of those who are complaining and so on. But help us in this particular case. When this is what we see, break it down for us.
Yeah, from the charges I've seen there, some of them are charged for murder, stealing, burglary, conspiracy. There's even one that is charged for armed robbery there. So all those are capital offenses. Murder, armed robbery, and the rest of them are capital offenses. And it is expected that the court will do what it ought to do, because it's an allegation. According to the defendants, they are being tortured, and many of them have said that the case have lingered since 2019, and they've had 40 adjournments. So the public jumped on the story and called out the former president's wife, Patience Jonathan, that she is the one responsible for the ordeal of the suspect or the defendants. But I beg to disagree. As much as I'm reading the story from the surface, I'm not in the case. I'm not a counsel of any of the defendant. I'm not a prosecution, but there's a way the legal system works. Patient Jonathan is just a nominal complainant. It is the state, the federal government of Nigeria, that is prosecuting the defendants. Under criminal matters, when a crime is committed against you, it is not you that is committed against, it's committed against the state of Nigeria. So it is the state of Nigeria that is now prosecuting them. The person whom it was directly committed against is just a nominal complainant who, under the law, cannot even withdraw the case.
Even if such cases are available, like it was stated there, because there are no evidence to show.
Well,
conspiracy to murder and all.
Yes, all the charges put together can also fail. Do you understand? Where the proof of evidence does not any way inculpate the defendants. Okay, where I'm getting at first is that we should understand that it is the states, the government that is prosecuting, not Patience Jonathan. Well, let's understand that. Then, as to whether Patience Jonathan is influencing the delay, and as a result of that, adjournment has got to 40 times, it's a different thing entirely that must be investigated before we conclude that they are being held in detention in bad faith. So, because the way the law works is, if the nominal complainant or the prosecution is not always in court to prosecute the case, the court will strike the matter out. or if the nominal complainant is unavailable to give evidence to inculpate the defendants and to bring them to justice, the court will strike the matter out.
But don't you think it's the duty of the court to ensure that the complainant is there?
It is the duty of the prosecution, not the court. It is the duty of the prosecution to ensure that his witness is in court.
And when that is not done, isn't it the duty of the court to equally ensure that consequences are drawn out of it?
When that is not done,
yes,
it's the duty of the court to strike the matter out.
And let everyone go.
Yes. Because there's what we call lack of diligent prosecution. So if at every time the matter is called, the prosecution is giving an excuse why it's not able to get its witness to come and testify against the defendants, the court will strike the matter out. Has that happened in this case? If it has happened in this case and the court refuses to strike the matter out, then the court will be held responsible.
Yes, because
if they have not gotten to trial stage, if they have not gone to trial stage and they have not sought the availability of the witness to come and give evidence, if the court have not gone to that stage, you cannot hold the court responsible. You cannot hold the court responsible. But if they have gone to that stage and repeatedly she's not available to come and give evidence, or that the prosecution have not always been in court, the defendant lawyers is supposed to, ask the court to strike out the matter. And if the court refuses to strike out the matter, they know what to do. Petition the judge, petition the NJC. Okay? Stating their case before the NJC. And when that is done, the NJC will look at it. The NJC will look at it and summon the judge to come and give reasons why disciplinary action should not be taken against him for holding this case or for delaying or for whatsoever it is. It is then the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, okay, that prosecutions like this, adjournment should not be more than a week in the new law. So if this court has breached all those provisions, the onus now lie on the defendant counsel to go and unearth the reason for this delay. 40 adjournments, no trial from 2019.
But with your experience,
how busy is the court in Bayelsa?
Yes, because with your experience, I wanted to ask, don't you think at this point that the court has breached that? Because it has allowed itself, to get into all of this mess, and nothing seems to be working.
You and I were not in the case.
Yes.
If we were in the case, we will be able to track our thoughts appropriately to say that this matter has come up 4 times for trial and the prosecution was not there. We have made an application to the court to strike out the matter and the court refused. Or this matter has come up 4 or 5 times for trial and the witness is not available and the court condone it. You understand? So that is, that's his lack of proper prosecution, diligent prosecution. In which case, you will now call on the court. You see, the court is also being managed and teleguided by an institution, National Judicial Council.
Yes.
Okay? That can instruct, that can even dismiss the judge. That's how serious it is. The NJC can dismiss a judge on the ground of this, where he is perpetrating fraud or condoning or making mess of the judicial system by delay or something like that. So we need to know exactly who has been delaying the case. Is it President Jonathan? Is it the prosecution? Okay? It cannot be the defendant because they are in detention. And by the way, they are supposed to have been granted bail, even though bail is at the discretion of the court. Their bail applications, the defendant, they put up bail applications for them. What happened to their bail? What happened to their bail? Are they coming from home or they are coming from detention?
Yes, because according to the report here, it appears
they are in detention.
Yes, they are in detention since 2000.
That means the court refused them bail, or The court granted them bail, but they have not met the conditions.
Well, according to the lawyer, defending them, they said that the issue of theft is bailable. But the reason why at this point it is beyond them is because of the new brand of, allegation of conspiracy to murder and so on, which of course, expunges anything bail in that particular matter. That could be the reason.
A murder charge is bailable.
Is bailable.
Yes, but the court is very slow in granting bail for a murder charge. The court does not grant bail except in extreme condition of health, on health grounds, where if the defendant is not granted bail, he most likely will lose his life by terminal ailments or anything of such kind. Okay, so it's only on that ground. Now, the defendant under reference, are they people of such conditions?
Yes, because it's written here that 3 of them had been granted bail because they had serious health issues. One of them had tuberculosis.
Okay.
So because of that,
yes.
he was
granted bail. So
bail
that
to
one is
leave,
coming
yes.
from
Yes.
home to so you see the condition varies. And when people are being prosecuted, criminal matters are it is individual based. It is not, even if it's conspiracy, you have to defend your, even if you make a confessional statement that I was involved, the prosecution will still have to prove my involvement, not just by your testimony alone. Do you understand? So the prosecution has to go further to prove my involvement independent of your confessional statement. So that is how a criminal prosecution is. So we need to be clear. You see, I'm giving the analysis this way, opening everything up for the viewer to know that this is not as straight as they are looking at it. President Jonathan may not be the cause. She may be the cause.
Okay.
She may be influencing and delaying by her unavailability.
Yes.
The prosecution could be the cause. In fact, patients can also be using the prosecutor to be the cause of what is going on. It may be false too. It may not be true. Then the court itself, if the court is heavily congested, the court also will be giving long adjournments
because
to be able to accommodate other cases.
Yes, because it was even said that the judge that was with the case was promoted, so
and they had to start de novo
for administrative work and mixing both together and all.
So see, we should know that several factors may be responsible. You see, President Jonathan cannot control the court. The court is an institution. Okay, he may have influence on 1 or 2 areas, but she may not totally be the cause of this. We've seen criminal matters that have lasted for 15 years, 10 years. Criminal matters that, as at the time judgment is being delivered, after judgment is delivered, the court will ask the defendant to go home. That the number of times he has stayed in detention is even more than the prison term, the sentence, the penalty for the offense. Somebody who committed theft, for example. Theft, the penalty is 7 years. But has been in detention for 8 years. First, they commenced the matter. It got to a point, the IPO died, no witness. Later, they got another one. The case file got missing from prison. He was not brought to court for 2-3 years. When they later found the file, they brought him to court after 2-3 years. The case started de novo. He took his plea again. The new judge did it to a point. Before you know it, accumulated to 8 years. Now, judgment is ready. He has stayed 8 years. The offense is 7 years custodian penalty. So most times the judge will just count from when he was arrested or from when he has been in detention. Okay, so that is how it is. And that is why our prisons are congested. Okay, look at 2019. Apart from 3 of them, others have been in custody from 2019. They are being fed by the federal government. Don't ask them what they give them, or what federal government actually budget 14,000 naira, 14 to feed each inmate per day. 14. It's not commensurate with what they eat, because they give them rubbish, and the prison authority is very corrupt. You understand? So at the end of the day, I mean, even citizens that are outside prisons in today Nigeria, do they spend up to 14,000 naira to eat in a day? If a plate of food is 3,500, 4,000, okay, will you be able to spend, if you eat twice in a day, will you be able to spend 14,000 and all that? So what I'm trying to say is that before we reach conclusions or rush or jump into sentimental conclusions, we should probe this case further, do our investigation. I'm not saying President Jonathan does not have the capacity to make life difficult for the defendants, but we need to be sure that truly she's the one doing that.
Very, very true. You know, while we, of course, digest, you know, some of the things, coincidentally, this could be on another matter. The husband, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, was speaking to a particular program in the northern part of Nigeria, where he did state that the judiciary has been taken over by influential people who sit in one place and decide, you know, what would happen. And of course, he didn't know that many weeks after, the wife will be involved.
Will be involved
in the same thing that he talked about.
Yeah, how be it not political.
Exactly. But let's take a look at the way the judiciary works, especially Afamo Sigwe, when he was inaugurated as the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, said he was going to digitize things. He was going to ensure that there's transparency, the delays, unnecessary ones that are there. He was going to ensure that that comes to a halt. But up until today, 1 year is gone, almost, and we still have all of these issues. When would we ever get it right, such that investors who come to Nigeria can trust our system, our judicial system, and say we are in the right place?
What Afamo Sigwe put up in his campaign, more political statements, because the NBA alone cannot do it. You see, this issue of delay, several factors are responsible. First, we need to build more courts, and we need to appoint more judges. How many judges do we have nationwide for 200 million people? How many judges do you have? When you get to a court and you see cost list, you have a judge going to sit over 50 matters in a day. When he's through, he's still going to retire to his chambers to go and write judgments. 50, 40, 45 in a day. And as he's delivering those ones, in the afternoon, they are bringing overnight. You know what we call overnight?
What is it? Overnight
is, let's say this is a criminal court, for example. Now, I am dealing with matters already brought before me. Old matters. Now, every day, those who committed crime, between that morning I did the old matters to the next day, they will bring them in the afternoon for arraignment. I don't know your sound.
Yes.
Every day the Black Maria is bringing both old defendants and new defendants, old inmates and new inmates. So let's say I have 50 matters as of today. Before I close from work that day, they will assign people that just committed offense yesterday. Okay? Maybe about 10 in my court, to my court.
Yes.
They will add to the list of the 50 I already have.
Yes.
Tomorrow, they are still going to assign maybe like 10 to me. It will add to my list. Monday to Friday, every day. As we're talking now, people are committing offense. And between now and Monday, because this is weekend, they will keep them in custody Saturday, Sunday. Those who committed offense from Friday that were caught in the night or in the afternoon, they will be in police detention from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's why every Monday in court, you have more inmates being brought for arraignment. So I will now get 10. So in that 5 days in a week, if I have 50 matters, by Friday, my matter has risen to another 50. The next week, continue again. So that's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, I'll have to take care of all those arraignments. after taking care of those arrangements, I'll now retire to my chambers and write judgments for the old ones that have done trial and judgment is ready. Every day keep piling. So you need to, every state need to build more courts, employ more judges as much as possible.
And the NBA can't influence that.
NBA can influence that.
Okay.
What we do in our conferences every year is to look at these issues, discuss them, and come up with reports and recommendations, which we hand over to government. NBA cannot go and implement it. NBA cannot implement it. NBA is just an NGO. I hope you are aware. It's just an NGO. It's a professional. It's just an NGO. It's not a government. It's funded by lawyers.
It's not there to enforce anything.
No. It's funded by lawyers. It's there to persuade government, put government right, tell them what the law is, where the direction of things and all that. That's their job. So they don't have the resources. They are not parliament. They are not state government. They are not. So what they can. That's why I said that. And for me, what he's stating is that a political statement, because he cannot go and build courts in different states of the federation. NBA does not have that resources. He cannot go and recruit judges and then decongest the court. He can only, in our MBA programs, in our the letters we write, the recommendations we make, he can only submit them to state government, to federal government, to local government. Then the local government, the federal government, the state government will now look into it. If they have the resources, sometimes they have budget for judiciary. The state have other matters to address. Infrastructure, roads, so many things. So what the judiciary, we cannot, it's not only case that the country
has to deal with. Why people are hungry. What the more responsible ones are hungry.
So it's a opulent tax. So when people call the NBA, I just look at them and laugh. NBA cannot go beyond what it's doing. That's just what it is.
This is a very difficult one, actually.
Yeah.
It actually takes, more than what we would think, to solve all of this. We truly, do hope that all of these delays in our processes, of course, for people getting the rights that they demand, would be given to us. We'd love to see Nigeria possibly in the future, like other nations where less crimes are committed. Some people, when you go to their correctional centers around the world, you hardly find people who are even incarcerated are asked to leave to go and come back, visit their families and come back.
Even in the US, when you are convicted in some matters, they tell you to go home and come and resume your term anytime you are ready. There are some where their wives will visit them, okay, and in this but the best way to decongest the court is to have a viable economy, okay, that engages everyone, so that crime is reduced. That's what they apply in Iceland, the Netherlands, and the rest of that, where crime. There's 0% in Iceland, for example. So they shut down prisons. They don't even need prisons. Again, that is the only way to, because in our case, you need to come to the court on a Monday morning. Just come observe. You don't need to even go to the courtroom. Just wait for the prison warders. You see the number of Black Maria that, not just in Lagos, and in all the state of the Federation, every morning. Monday to Friday. How will the court cope? The court is overrun, so it's a difficult situation.
Yes, we sincerely hope that things will get better for us as a country, especially knowing that the judiciary is a very strong arm, is very pivotal to the democracy that we have today, most definitely. Thank you so very much, Barrister Fansofeli.
My pleasure.
I do appreciate you. All right, people, that's just the time we have for today. We love to believe you enjoyed our show just like we did right here, but please do well to visit us. You may find us, if you want to, that is on enterprisetvnews.com. You may rewatch this also when you visit us at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.